love, free love, free love. Not all the simple things.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the final round of storytelling competition EIA 22 2023. Thank you so much for participating, and hopefully all of you will get more knowledge and also experiences from this competition. Okay, please let me introduce myself. I'm Anggita Karisma. You can call me Anggi as the Master of Ceremony and also the moderator and the steering committee of storytelling EIA 22 2023. Okay, in this final round, all participants will perform based on their submit story that due today, September 30, 2023 at 10 a.m. in Western Indonesia time. Okay, before that, I would like to warmly welcome to the unravel of all the educators. First, we have Kak Kelvin, Kak Ajrina, and Kak Gigi. Halo kakak-kakak. Okay, before we start the competition, there are several points that all participants must pay attention. But before that, I would like to congratulate to the top 10 finalists of storytelling competition. Congratulations for making it this far. For this round, there will be 10 finalists who will perform. Okay, let's jump into the point that you have to pay attention to, yeah. Okay, first, the participants that are allowed to remain in the meeting room. In the main room, only the one who are performed and the rest of the participants will wait and remain in the breakout room, yeah, until the committee admit them to the main room when it's their turn to perform. Second, in the breakout room, the participants will be called 3 times in a row based on their turn to perform or first chat, and the participants who don't show up at the first call 3 times in a row or the first change will be called on the last turn or the second change. The participants who don't come to the second change, unfortunately, will be disqualified. And the third, the next participants will perform will be reminded by personal chat on WhatsApp by the committees, and also there will be a live report on participants WhatsApp group. For the fourth, participants performing time is 5 minutes as the minimum duration and 7 minutes for the maximum duration. For the fifth, the committee will start the online stopwatch when you deliver your first word. And for the sixth point, when the participant perform, the timekeeper will provide time warning signals when the participants have already passed the minimum or maximum duration via private chat box on the Zoom, ya, teman-teman. Okay, and for last point, the adjudicators will give personal feedback and the Q&A session for 8 minutes. Therefore, the total time given to each participant is 15 minutes. Okay, all right. After all participants, starting number 2 until number 10, will be assigned to the breakout room, and the committee will give you the follow-up information there, yeah, and also in the WhatsApp group. Okay, for the participants, number 1, please stay in the main room. All right, we will assign all participants to the breakout room first, yeah. Please wait a minute, yeah, everyone. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, to Kakak educators. And for the first participant, we are so sorry that we have a time for assigning all others participants from participants number 2 to number 10 in the breakout room. Okay. All right. After this, participants have already assigned into the breakout room. For the first participants, Kak Berliana Cinta Tristianini, you have a time to recheck your camera and the microphone before we start your performance.
All right, thank you. Wait a minute. Okay, so is my voice clear enough?
Yes. Yes, you are audible.
Okay.
Okay. Wait a minute. Can you see the online stopwatch on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. The committee will start the timer when you enter your first word, ya, Kak Berliana.
Okay. Yes. Focus, focus, la la la. Magic is around and it's by our side. Oh, really? Do you guys believe it? That magic is around you and is real? If you don't, then I will tell you a tale that will make you believe it. And so, long time ago, every afternoon when the sky was almost red, there was a lonely old magician named Jack who could always be found around the park. He always sat beneath the shade of an oak tree with his mysterious bag by his side. He always wanted to put a smile on children's faces with his simple tricks and spells, but really, no one could even feel his existence and kindness at that time. And so this made his heart grow heavily, day after day. Until one fateful afternoon, there was a small and sweet little girl named Lily who came to the park alone. But at that time, tears streamed down her face because, oh, she just dropped her ice cream cone. That was so disappointing for her. But Jack noticed it and he came closer to her. His voice was so gentle at that time, and then he said, "Oh, my dear little girl. Okay, calm down. Don't be sad. Don't cry, okay? Take a deep breath. It's okay. Now, let's get another one with me, okay?" And so Lily was glad to meet him. She then sniffled and nodded, her eyes widening as Jack conjured a small and colorful butterfly to dance in front of her. And with that kind of magic, they started a true friendship that had never, ever been expected before. And so they became really close, and they often spent their afternoons together. Lily often shared her passions and her dreams to Jack. And one day she said, "Jack, do you know that I want to be an astronaut when I grow up? Because I want to fly high to the moon." And so, Jack, would you come with me? And at that time, Jack only laughed because he really adored this pretty little girl. And since that moment, they created a lot of their cheerful moments together every single day. Crafting a paper rocket and then sharing the tales about spaces, imagining the taste of moon cheese, and so many more. But guys, behind that lovely smile, Jack was actually hiding something painful. And can you guys guess what it was? So, Jack was actually sick and his energy was not that much, especially at his age, right? But he really tried his best because he enjoyed every moment that he spent with Lily. That was so cheerful and precious. But he didn't want to disappoint her, so he kept all of the secret only for himself. But the sad part is that time can change a lot of things, right? Even someone's existence. And so one fine day, Jack didn't show up again at the park. He wasn't there, and this was confusing for Lily because she was so afraid there was something or someone precious to her, just like how she lost her favorite ice cream cone previously. Do you remember that part, right? And so Lily was looking for him like everywhere and so desperate. Oh, but wait, she suddenly found a mysterious bag that belonged to Jack. And it was also noted for the future astronaut Lily. And so she was so excited because she was thinking that she would have a surprise. And when she opened the bag, he got thousands of bird origamis along with a letter. And the letter said, Dear Lily, my little girl, since today, please be careful with your ice cream cone because I cannot be there if you drop it to the ground again. Thank you for everything. Really, true magic to me was not a trick or a spell, but it was you and your existence in our precious moment together. Now, I bring you thousands of bird origamis because I want to see you fly high to the moon just like you always dreamed of. Now I have to go. Please be kind to yourself, always. With love, Jack. And so Lily cried so bad at this moment, realizing that Jack had gone. Well, at least she had given him the most precious gift ever, which was a true friendship. And so this tale of two kind-hearted human beings ended with a bittersweet yet beautiful lesson to all of us. That guys, magic is literally around us. It can be found in simple things like this. And now, what do you think about it? Do you believe it? If yes, then I will see you again in another story. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Gabrieliana, for your great performance. And the duration of your performance is 6 minutes and 57 seconds. Okay. After this, we are going to continue to the next session, which is the personal feedback and Q&A session that I will give it to the adjudicators. For kakak-kakak, time is yours, Kak.
I will give the honor for Kak Ajrina. So go ahead, Kajrina.
Calvin. Okay. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear your voice.
Okay, for Berliana. The story is, I really like the story because the story is quite simple, but it rich with the plot. So the plot itself is simple, but you manage to bring out every point of the story, which is very nice. I really enjoy your performance in the beginning and to the end. I like how you sing, how you include the property you have, the origamis, and the story between Jack and Lily. It's very nice, but there is some notes that I wanna give you to improve for the next performance if you do another storytelling. The first thing is I think you have a very good expressions, but sometimes because of course when we do public speaking we smile of course to the audience, but there is some points when you are telling something sad, like when Lily got upset about the ice cream, when Lily got sad when Jack was not there anymore. You said that Lily was crying, especially when Lily was crying after reading the Jack's letter. You were smiling. So it didn't really show how sad that you said that Lily was very sad. She was crying, but you were smiling. So it didn't really give the sadness, the impact of the sadness for Jack's letter itself. So make sure that you synchronize the emotions you get to tell to the audience and how your expression is. The second thing about the camera positions, I think it's very common in offline storytelling. It was very easy, but in online storytelling, there is a case where because like now, you put your camera lower than yourself, right? So when you show, when sometimes in your story, you want to show happiness and you move your head upwards because you know how happy they are. But because the camera is lower than you, we cannot see your face. So if you do online storytelling, it is better if you can put your camera right in front of you. Make sure your eyes and the camera lens is in one line. That will help us to see your emotion better, and you don't need to crouch because I can see that sometimes you bend your knees there. It must be uncomfortable. So if you can put your camera more above, it will be really help you and us to see your performance. And then before I give the rest to Calvin,
Okay, thank you.
maybe one more is about the closing, because I actually really like the closing because Jack actually already encapsulate the message you want to tell us. So I don't think it is necessary for you to tell us again, like what kind of magic is this, because Jack's letter is already like giving us everything, and it was really nice. I really hope that it was ended there, and then you just give your closing to the audience and not calling it back, because yeah, it feels like you do it twice. And I think it's better if you can use that extra time to explore more about your story rather than telling something that we already know. Okay, the rest is for Calvin.
Thank you, Kak Adrina.
All right. First of all, I would like to say sorry if my voice is not really clear and there's a lot of noise because I'm outside right now. Anyway, that was quite a story that was simple and it direct. I'm only going to add a little bit from what Kajina had already said before. It's about the emotion itself. So it is true that you have a very good emotion and also facial expression and body language and all. But one of the things that in this performance, since we met a lot of time and also you joined a lot of competition and I've been there, in this performance you have to quite differentiate the emotion that you're going to show, because your as a narrator, your expression, your smiley expression is contaminating the other emotion, because what Ajrina has said, when you're smiling, you tend to make smile also in other emotion, so it got dragged narrator, your emotion as a narrator got dragged into the other vibes, emotion, and atmosphere when it's supposed to not to be like that, right? Yeah, I think that's all. But overall story is good, and the missing thing and a lot of the comment already has said by Kak Ajrina. Thank you, Kak Ajrina. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak Kelvin.
Oke, untuk personal feedback dari Kak Gigi akan disampaikan Kak Ajrina or Kak Kelvin, Kak?
Oh, for Kak Gigi, personal feedback, since Kak Gigi have something going on, I think Kak Gigi will have the personal feedback written on the score sheet.
Oh,
Okay, I think for the personal feedback and the organization have already offered kakak sampai educators and participant number 1. Thank you kakak for the amazing insights and personal feedback for the first participants number 1, Kak Birliana. Okay, to Kak Birliana, you can go back to breakout room ya. We will meet again after all participant performance are over.
okay, thank you kakak-kakak.
Okay, we will assign the next participants ya Kak Maka. Okay, for the next participants is Kak Jalasina Luki Pandusatria. You have a time to recheck your camera and microphone before we start your performance. Okay, can you see the online stuff on the screen? Oh, Kak Jalasina.
Sorry?
Okay, you can see the online stuff watch on the screen.
Yes, I see it clear.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the committee will start the timer when you enter your first word ya Kak. Okay, Kak Jalasina, you maybe start your performance.
Sure.
Okay, the committee will start the timer when you enter your first word ya Kak. Oke, Kak Jalasina. Panitia akan memulai stopwatch-nya ketika Kak Jalasina mengucapkan satu kata. Oke, boleh Kak.
Hi. All right. My name is Jalas Saluki Panushat Virgodo, and we're going to do right now. And I'm from Indonesia. Welcome. Is that? No. Yes, yeah. I got Team Canada, situation teacher, place sports, and here it is, Hershey's Sweet Treat. Once upon a time in Dairyville, a small town that plays in the United States of Canada, there is a young girl named Hershey on the streets, the daughter of a very successful businesswoman, Jen Show on streets. Her father owns almost half the town because of his successors. It is possible because her father owns candy shop all over the town. The candy is amazing and wonderful. Everyone loved candy, especially Christmas, Easter, and Halloween. One day, Hershey went to her father's store. She was checking out every candy and chocolate. She was asking herself, daydreaming, when can I own this shop? And how can I make my father give it to me? From another island, her father showed up and surprised her. Looks like someone had just been caught in a sugar rush, huh? Hershey shocked and jumped on her feet. Father! Her father laughed and giggled. You gotta see your face. It is not funny, she replied. Her father apologized. Pardon me, young lady. Is there anything I can help you with? Her father actually replied, will this company will be on my hands sometime? Like, will you give it to me? The father shocked and replied, are you serious right now? Right, go to my office, go to my office. Inside Mr. Jupiter's office, there's a very tight and intense eye contact between him and his daughter. His room smells like white, snowy sugar for Christmas cake. All right, now, what is it, father? Right. His father replied, are you serious about this now? Because you have to do some certain things for you if you want to take this company. Like certificate, is that right? No, it's not just a certificate, it's not. So what do you mean? You can explain to me here. Now something is really magic. It's called start the diabetes scan. You take one and then you will go to the glucose treatment and then you have to complete every task in there. Whoa. Oh my god. Are you high, Dad? Are you crazy? Let me check your temperature. No, sit down. I'm seriously. Come on. After taking one, finally Hershey's take a deep breath and she tried the candy. She take one of the candy from the jar. She tried. She take one of the start diabetes. And then his father, on the count of 3, I want you to suck the whole thing. And then she come in. She sucked the whole thing. She heard his father, suck the whole thing. Don't forget the raw pepper that I just gave you. From her point of view, she realized. She closed her eyes. She heard her father's voice started to fade. Don't forget the pepper that I just gave you. And whoop, her eyes out of nowhere. She wakes up and opens her eyes in the middle of the jungle, in the middle of the forest. But there is something weird about this forest. It smells like bubblegum. There's also a river. There's made of syrup. She is confused. She just goes around screaming, shouting, Father! Father! Of course, there's no answers. But she remembers the raw pepper that her father gave to her. She opens the raw pepper. There's a steps and everything that she has to follow. First, she has to follow the syrup river. Second, find the tree that's shaped like the S letter. Third, find the first recipe to beat the sugar fairy. Number 4, voila. And there's also in notes. First, please do not eat anything on the forest because it's not real. And the second, if you get the monkey from the rabbit, ignore it. Please don't get upset from it. And after that, she followed the river. She smells the bubble of red forest. And then she heard out of nowhere, you ugly. She was like, whoa, what was that? She's looking around. And then one spot, like a white spot. She near her eyes, she approached to that one. Rabbit, it's the rabbit. Rabbit keeps saying that all over and over again. You're ugly, you're ugly. But she's ignored. She knows how to kill it. She's going closer. You're uglier. And you know what? I'm gonna make you as my dinner tonight. And I'm on my sugar. And out of nowhere, the rabbit goes, poof! It's gone. And then she continues her. She goes, is that what I think it is? The tree. Let me approach. Just approach. She goes around. She's looking around the tree. She goes around looking for the key. Just like in the step of the guy in the roll. She opened. She found the keys, but also she found the box. She inserted the key. She opened it, and the first recipe just to beat the fairy who's going to beat them. She opens it, and the leaves of the tree is shaking. She was like, "Oh, what is happening right?" And fairy, Junior fairy, just come down. She come down from the tree with them singing Sugar Plum.
Looks like we have our pet in here. Let's try to beat us, young princess.
And the harshest answers. There's only one way to find out. There's get prepared and there's one. King Frog will judge us when he's arrived. They make their own recipe. They make their own candy. But that time, King Frog's arrived. It means here is the candy. She tried. Both candy. Your candy is just boring, fairy. And finally, he tried the candy of the Hershey's. I love this candy just like your father. Please say hi for me. And finally, he gave the final recipe and the candy of the insulin that she gave back to get the world. Finally, she get the real world and she met her father. Father, finally, thank you so much. This is there what I can learn from this. Thank you very much, Father. That's all I can learn from this. My name is Dodo, and I'm a military engineering cadet from the National Academy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak Jalasena, for your great performance. And the duration of your performance is 7 minutes and 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, after this, we are going to continue to the next session, which is the personal feedback and the Q&A session that I will give it to the adjudicators. For kakak-kakak, time is yours, Kak.
Kelvin, silahkan.
All right. Hi, Jalasena. How can I call you, by the way?
It's free.
What can I call you, by the way?
Jalasena, Lucky, or Pandu.
Is he there? Is he lagging? Or is it me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. Cool. Anyway, so actually that was a quite nice performance. But I have to note something down. The story itself, Kak Juna will tell you about the story. I will tell you about the performance. Anyway, for your performance itself, you need to like calm down a little bit because everything seems rushed. You tend to talk fast than the normal pace for people who talking, and it impacting the whole performance. So when you are talking too fast, when you are talking a bit rushed, it's going to impacting the whole performance that your audience will most likely only get the half of the idea of your story. So some part of not only that, when you're talking too fast, it's going to affecting your pronunciation. Your pronunciation, some of them are a little bit mumbled, and That's really unfortunate. The story itself, for the overall of the story, it's pretty good and it has the point, but the performance, well, it seems like you already understand your story, right? You already memorize your story, which is good, which is not a bad thing at all. But it feels like you're rushing to finish your story, not to deliver your story well, but you try to finish your story on time. My suggestion for you, if you think or if you feel like your story is over than the maximum time that has given, I think you should edit more so to make your story under the overtime limits. And that's why you will not have to rush. Okay, you need to calm down a little bit. You have to understand and you have to engage with your audience, whether they understand your story well, whether they are trying to guess or not. I think that's all, but overall it was a nice performance. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry, there is a very loud bike that just passed by. Oke, kalau dari aku, sorry, is it my turn? I cannot really hear. Oke, tadi Calvin sudah ngasih tahu soal performance, so I will try to give more notes about the story itself. Yeah, as what Calvin said before, ceritanya sebenarnya menarik. Like it's quite funny actually from the story. Like she wanna get the right for the company, terus dia pergi ke Sugar Dreamland, terus berusaha nyari resepnya, and I found it hilarious that the one that she got is insulin. So I can see gimana kamu really do your research to try to put a lot of things in your story, like the name. Yeah, it is very good. The story itself is very good. But one thing that we need to do more when we were writing the story, first, benar kata Kelvin, it's not just rush from your performance, but it's also a little bit rush from the story itself. Jadi karena aku merasa bahwa petualangannya Hersley ini sebenarnya bisa lebih dibikin detail. So you can give detail, but this is an imaginative world, like there's everything is chocolate. So I really expect you to really describe apa aja sih yang ada di sana yang mungkin kita sebagai audiens itu nggak bisa mikirin sedetail yang ada di kepalamu. So try to use more description words to show like, yeah, you do like test, it feels like diabetes, and that is a good thing, but I am expecting more. Try to describe the scenery, try to describe what has we see by using her 5 sense. So dari mata, dari bau, dari rasa, dari sentuhan, elaborate semua itu buat gambarin seberapa keren sih sebenarnya dunia Coklat Dream yang Hershey datangin itu. Also, mungkin sama edition tadi ya buat dari Calvin ada aku nambahin lagi dikit. Property. I saw that you have some property over there. I saw like there is a jar, tapi itu nggak kelihatan sama sekali karena tanganmu ada di bawah. Jadi ketika kamu ngeliatin jarnya ke kita nggak lihat jarnya. Kita cuma lihat kamu bergerak cuma kayak aku sekarang. Jadi bahunya aja yang gerak, tapi kita nggak tahu di bawahnya ada apa. Aku cuma lihat tutupnya merah di ujung dikit. So make sure, karena kalau misalnya kita offline itu kita bisa lihat semuanya, tapi kalau online kamera range-nya terbatas. Jadi kalau misalnya kamu mau nunjukin sesuatu, about hand movement, your face, your gesture, your properties, make sure it's all within the camera range. Jadi harus dicek dulu sebelum mulai performance, kamu harus sedekat apa biar semuanya kelihatan, kamu bisa sejauh apa, kalau mau ke kanan batasnya segimana, ke kiri batasnya segimana. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's all for me. Ada yang mau ditanya?
That's all explained. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's all. Thank you, Jelasine committee. back at you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think for the personal feedback and the cancellation is already offered, yeah, from the adjudicators and the participant number second. Okay, thank you kakak-kakak for the amazing insights and personal feedback. For the second participants is Kak Jalasena Luki Pandu Satria. Okay, to Kak Jalasena, you can go back to breakout room ya. We'll meet again after all participants' performance are over. Okay, now we will assign the next participants ya kakak-kakak. Okay, for the next participant is KRR Camelia Rarasati. Halo, Kak Camelia.
Yes, wait for a minute.
Okay, now you have a time to recheck your camera and microphone before we start your performance.
Yes, can I? Hello there, everyone. Today, I'm going to be telling you a spooky story entitled The Blanket Thief. Once upon a time, there was a village near a deep, dark forest. Though the village was led by a really wise and thoughtful king. And so, the villagers lived happily and in prosperity too. The most unique thing about this village is that the king really loves oranges. And so he ordered all of his people to plant oranges in the king's garden. Even though this village may sound like they're living in happiness, certainly every village has a spooky story, including this one. You see, the villagers keep disappearing. Or I should say, it keeps being stolen. Maybe you're asking, who did it? Well, it's not a ghost, not a zombie, not a vampire. Honestly, it's just a normal person, or I should say, a thief. But the thief that we're talking about is not any ordinary thief. The thief is very mischievous and very spooky, because nobody has ever seen its face before. Because every time this thief steals something, it always wears something that covers its face. You're probably asking, what does it wear? Well, it doesn't wear a mask, nor a hat, nor a jacket, but it wears a blanket. I introduce you to the blanket thief. One spooky night, the blanket thief was really hungry, but he did not have anything to eat. I'm so hungry, but I don't have anything to eat. What should I eat? But suddenly he had an idea. I remember. I heard from my friend that the king just grew more oranges. I know what I'm going to steal next. And so they went. He continued walking to the palace, and as he got closer, he could smell the scent of oranges. Said the thief. And so he sneaked into the garden and took a bunch of oranges. Nobody could ever catch me. Brand new oranges for me said the thief. Then, the next morning, huh? What happened to my oranges? Steward, come here. Look at all of these footprints. The steward came. Yeah, master, I have heard from my friend that the blanket thief was here last night. If that is so, then I want you and all the royal guards to check all of the blankets and give me the person that his blanket smell like oranges. And so the search for the blanket thief had just started. All the royal guards and the steward started to check and smell every single blanket in the village. Oh, this one smells like flowers. Definitely not this one. This smells like oh. This one smells like mangoes. After hours and hours of searching, they found nothing at all. But suddenly, the steward smelled something. Everyone, I smelled something orangey. That way, to that small hut inside of that spooky forest. And so, there they went. They kept walking and walking. As they opened the hut, it got really dark and it got really spooky. But the scent of the orange got more stronger and stronger. And suddenly, the steward stepped on something. Screamed the thief. I got you, blanket thief, screamed the steward. The blanket thief was then brought to the palace to be questioned by the king. So, you, my dear boy, you are the so-called blanket thief, am I right? The blanket thief was so shy that all he could do was cry. Yes, master, it is me. All this time, it is me. You see, I lost both of my parents and I just steal for my daily activity. I can't do anything, master. I'm sorry. Hearing this, the king felt really bad, but at the same time, he got really angry. And so the king took a deep breath and said, well then, as your punishment, you will have to replant all of the oranges that you have took from me for 5 years. And that is the end of the blanket. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for Camelia for your great performance, and the duration of your performance is 5 minutes and 47 seconds. Okay, after this, we are going to continue to the next session, which is the personal feedback and Q&A session that I will give it to the adjudicators. For kakak-kakak, time is yours.
Oke. Aku dulu ya. Ini RR-nya Roro atau apa?
Raden Roro.
Oh, Raden Roro. Panggilannya apa nih?
Camila.
Oke, Camila. Camila, I really like your story. The opening is amazing for me. I was expecting that the story start at the beginning, but apparently it's not. It was an introduction, but it is a very nice introductions about the story and about the blanket tips. I really like that. And yeah, there is a lot of characters in your story, which is quite hard to perform, but you did a very good job giving every one of them characterizations of the steward, the king, the thief. But in the same time, of course, there is some notes for your performance today. You have a nice range of voice, and you did a very good job in pacing the story. The story not felt really fast, so it's easy to follow. But in the same time, sometimes when you were switching from dialogue to narrations, you switch too fast. So the characterizations that happens before, like one of the examples is when the steward start to trying to find about the thief, and he told the king that the blanket thief was here stealing the orange last night. The characterizations of the steward got carried away when you do the narrative. So after you do dialogue, it's okay if you just pause 1 second, move back to the middle of the stage, and then do your narrations. So don't rush really fast, because you only do it like 5 minutes and 40 seconds. So you still have plenty of time. So if you can do it a little bit slower, it will be better for your performance. Second, still about the characterizations, because you do it quite fast, it give you some more problems along your story. One of it is the voice of the steward and the narrator is different in the beginning, but somehow in the middle they become one. I still can see which one is the steward, which one is the narrator, because you switch place, and when you do narrator, you are in the middle, which is quite nice. But we also need consistency. If you want to give each characters a different voice, then that means you have to be consistent with them. It is quite hard because you switch fast, but if you can do it slower, it will also help for this part. The same also happened with the king. In the end of the story, somehow the king voice got deeper when he confronted the thief, and then after the thief admit that he was the one that's stealing the orange, the king got his old voice back. So I was thinking that there was another character at first, but apparently that was the king. So yeah, try to stay calm and just make sure you do it in the right pace. And a stupid question, but I was curious, how many orange do you have in your hand? Like you keep taking orange, throw it away, and then taking another one, throw it away. How many you have there? Okay, well, 10. That's not something that I have problem with. I was just curious. And last one before I give it to Kelvin, maybe is about the camera range. You have a very good stage coordination, so you control the stage very well. You move left, you move right, but it's still balanced. But in the same time, the camera is a little bit too low, so you crouch a little bit when you tell your story. It's still fine. It's still manageable, but in the same time, the king have a very, what we call it, the king in the story have a strong presence, and you straight up your back when you be the king at the first time, which is very good. It shows that the king is a very good high presence for the people around him. But because you crouch in order to look at the camera, it makes the king lose half of his vibes as a king. So it will be better if you can put your camera higher, make sure like it's in line with your eyes. It will also help us to see your expression better, to see your movement better. But I think, yeah, it's a common problem in online storytelling. But be mindful where you put your camera as well. I think that's all for me. And the rest, I'll give it to Kelvin.
Thank you.
Okay, hi there. So it is true what Kajina has been said before, that your story is amazing. It's a lot of component there and a lot of character, which is not easy for you, for a lot of people to deliver a story with many characters. I think Kajina already mentioned that you have to be able to differentiate the characters, especially when you have your vocal range is quite needs to be explored more. But one of the things that I can suggest you is that if you cannot really change your voice that clear, you can differentiate the characteristic between the character. So you can differentiate the movement, the body language, and also how they talk, how they walk. It can distinguish who is talking at the moment, right there. Uh, and the second of all, uh, I found that in a couple of scenes there are something like this: blah 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 said blah blah blah, and then he said, or blah 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 said the orange blah blah blah, or something like that, right? So there is a difference between written story and then spoken story. In a spoken story, you don't have to do that because you have to be direct when you are telling the story, especially when you have the audience. You don't have to put that like blah 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 said blah blah blah. But if you're in a written story, you may done that because it is written and people need to know who is saying at the moment, who is talking at the moment, right? And the last one for me, I've just found this. Your story is that it needs to be suspenseful. So it needs to be suspense. It needs to be more intense in the meaning of the atmosphere itself. It needs to be more apa ya, mencekam gitu. But your story itself, kinda in a funny atmosphere, kinda in a bright, which is it's not bad actually. It is not bad, but I think it would be better if you can align your story and also align the atmosphere to the plot that you already given from the comment. Yeah, I think that's all from me. Is there any question from you? All right, okay. If that's all, thank you so much for your performance. That was a really great performance and also great story. Okay, committee, back at you.
All right. I think for the personal feedback and the Q&A session have already offered from the educators and the participant number 3. Okay, thank you so much kakak-kakak for the amazing insights and personal feedback for the third participants, Kak Camilla. Okay, Kak Camilla, you can go back to breakout room ya. We'll meet again after all participants' performance are.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now we will assign the next participants ya kakak. Wait a minute. Okay, halo Kak Gita Angelina.
Hello.
Okay, you have a time to recheck your camera and microphone before we start your performance.
Sorry, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Can you see the online stopwatch on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the committee will start the timer when you enter your first word ya, Kak.
What was that? Oh, hi, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? Well, have you ever felt of being left at home alone? Are you happy, sad, or are you even scared? Now, let me present to you the smartphone call. I'm Gita from XXII. Now, hear me out. One calm afternoon at the Frankie's house, his parent faced an unexpected problem. They were getting ready to go out to celebrate a special anniversary. Everything was set except for one twist. The nanny that they had asked to take care of their 14-year-old son, Frankie, has called in sick right at the very last minute. So, ladies and gentlemen, what choice did they have? They decided to go anywhere because they had already made a reservation at the very fancy restaurant. Frankie, please remember about what we've told you. Lock all the doors and windows, and remember, don't forget to keep your smartphone charged. Call us whenever you need us. Said his mother. Oh, I've got this, Mom. I'm already old enough, so please just don't worry, said Frankie, noted. His parent had never left him home alone before in the evening, so Frankie was so excited to thinking about the prospect of having the whole house for himself. And then, as his parents left, Frankie was felt so freedom, and he felt the freedom and also the cheerful. He watching the television of his TV shows Stranger Things. The night felt so usual until his smartphone buzzed with an incoming call from an unknown number. He thought for a second and then he decided to pick it up. Hello? Frankie's talking here. Who is this? And what can I do for you? Said Frankie. There was no immediate response from the other end of the telephone, just silence. So Frankie said, hello? Anybody there? Please, I guess you're calling the wrong number. When Frankie was about to end the call, then a raspy voice suddenly broke the silence. Hello, Frankie, said the person. Oh, hello, what a very raspy voice. Who is this? Said Frankie. Hello, Frankie. I'm just a friend. I like you and I'm watching you, said the person. Oh, what? You like me? Just tell me your name. Is this Ella, Belly, or Emily? If you don't want to tell me your name, I will end this call, said Frankie. Hello, Frankie. What are you watching on that television? Is that Stranger Things? Oh, I like it too, said the person. Wait. What? Are you paranormal? How can you know I'm watching that TV show? Are you spying on me? Said Frankie. No, Frankie. I am watching you like I've said before, said the person. Frankie was so scared and confused. He's looking around the dark room, trying to find any clue of someone who shouldn't be there. Hey, please, this is not funny. Is this some kind of prank? Please just show yourself. This is not cool, said Frankie. No, this is not a prank. This is real, and I'm closer than you think, said the person. Because Frankie was so scared, he immediately ended the call and he rushed to his bathroom. He hid under the blanket and his heart raced, and the silence of the house felt so suffocating. Under his blanket, then Frankie heard a noise that terrified him. The front door opening and followed by footsteps. Ding dong, I know you can hear me. Open up the door. I only wanna put the window. At that moment, Frankie felt so scared, and then the door of his bedroom opened slowly. And then the blanket was pulled away from him. Frankie was so scared, trembling with fear, he forced to open his eyes. 1, 2, 3, wah! And then suddenly there was a spooky girl with a long dark hair in front of his face. Frankie screamed, what was that? But ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know what happened next? Suddenly, Frankie woke up quickly, breathing hard, and then he finally realized that he was back in the living room in front of the television. After took some moment, finally, Frankie realized that all the scary things and all the bad things were only the product of his imagination, and they were only bad dreams, a very, very bad dreams that made him felt so terrified. Wake up, sleepyhead, wake up, his mom called out.
Because of that moment, finally, Frankie realized that his family came after that. And then he finally realized and happy and thankful because with the family around, he felt so safe and sound. And after that moment, he finally realized that all the bad thing was just a product of his imagination and has to think all good for all the moment. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all about my story. What and how do you feel about my story? Are you even still scared of being left home alone? Well, I hope that your experience not become the one of terrifying experience of being home alone. Shh. Just remember to don't pick up the phone. Thank you for your attention and goodbye.
All right. Thank you, Kak Gita Angelina, for your great performance. And the duration of your performance is 6 minutes and 54 seconds. Okay, after this, we are going to continue to the next session, which is the personal feedback and the Q&A session that I will give it to the educators. For Kak Gina and Kak Kelvin, time is yours.
Okay. Hi, hello, Gita.
Hello.
Okay, how are you feeling?
A little bit nervous, but also I'm so satisfied because I will already end this.
Oh, so you're satisfied because you already end the story.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. All right, so I'm going to start with the story is great, but I'm going to talk about that later. The story itself is great. It has a lot of component. It has a lot of things. It has the suspense. It has this terrifying, and it has the storyline, which is so great. And I hardly found a plot hole in your story, which is great because your story flows smoothly. I have I have two notes for you here, both from the performance and the second of all is from the story itself. From the performance itself, I think you kind of a bit rushed with your performance because you already said that you want to end the story. So when you're telling the story, you could take time and try to deliver it more calm, and then it going to if make some kind of atmosphere and create some kind of vibes into your audience, because when you're talking a bit rush, it's going to impact the whole performance. When your story is supposed to be terrifying, when your story is supposed to be suspense and intense, but when you're talking too fast, the vibes and also the audience will get the story, oh, this is so fast, it's going to be so rushed, and then, oh, this story, okay, it's hardly for the audience can follow you smoothly because all of the how you deliver your story, it's going to impact the whole performance. And the second of all, I think I already mentioned it several times also for the other participant, is that when there are a difference between spoken and written story, I found in your performance that you mentioned blah 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 said blah blah blah, right? Or blah 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 said this. When in storytelling, you don't have to mention that because it's different from the written story. When in written story, you may write like, uh, for example, Giselle said blah blah blah, or blah 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 said Giselle. That's fine. But in spoken story, you just have to like make it as natural dialogue. So you just have to speak and then you make a dialogue, and that's all. That's from the performance. And yeah, as I mentioned before, that your story is great. It's amazing. But in the end, I have to say, I kind of feel so. It's kind of unfortunate because you mentioned that it is all a dream. Okay. So it's not going to affect your story whatsoever. I'm just going to say this because this is something that storyteller have to understand. Okay, so I have to like put it that it's not going to affect your storyline whatsoever. But this is the thing. When you're telling a story and when you make a story, ending the story with it's all just a dream, or then you woke up, it's all gone. It was all just imagination. Or you can say, and that's all, everything died, and he's the last person on earth. That thing, especially the dream one, is going to make the imagination of your audience crushed, because the build up of your story is already beautiful. The build up, from the orientation, the plot is rising, and it has fallen down and everything. But then the ending of their story came back from zero, because it never happened. So your audience might be disappointed because, oh, so the story was never happened. The story was never happened. It's all never happened. It was just all a dream. So the audience will kind of crush a bit, and that's what I felt. I don't know about Kak Ajrina. She will tell you later. Well, it might be better, way better, if you could just go on with the story and end it with the storyline that you already have there, because it's going to be much more clearer, and then it's going to be much more nicer. Is that one words? It's going to be much nicer, and it's not going to ruin the whole plot, and also the whole plot line storyline that you already created before, because the story is already good. You might want to end it good also. I think that's all from me.
Can you hear my voice?
Sorry?
Kedengaran nggak?
Yeah.
Oke.
Yes.
Calvin tadi sudah memberikan beberapa poin. I wanna give notes more to the performance, okay? Which what Calvin said was true, that the pace is a little bit too fast. Padahal kan atmosfer yang mau dibawa di cerita ini is like terrifying. So there's actually some points that when we watch horror movie, the most thing that they use to make the suspense is actually silence. Nah, ini yang masih belum aku lihat di ceritamu. Even though your story is amazing, like I'll just give you some examples like how I think it will be better, ya. Seperti when he just pick up the phone and he was like, hey, who is this? And you said there was no immediate answer, but you said it immediately. Yeah, hello, who is this? Stay silent for 2 seconds. Look at your audience, but there's no immediate voice. Hello. So you make the silence into your story. The same things like when he was already running into the bedroom, and then he hears someone's opening the door slowly, but the sound effect, I like your sound effect, like you make the sound, but the sound is quite fast. When you open your door quietly, slowly, it will be like take your time, because the ghost open it very, very slowly, right? So if someone's opened the door, slowly open the door and say, it's not slow at all. Build the suspense with the voice as well. And also when what Calvin said, maybe I can give you some tips about when you have a conversations. One of the options is this: not use say blah 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 at all, or if you want still give yourself some pace, because the dialogue is quite long, and if you just keep switching, it will be tiring. So maybe you can just give descriptions. So rather than say he said, the person on the other side said, you can just like I mean, hello, who is this? Okay, I think it's you got the wrong number. He was actually quite scared, but he was also curious. So you can give a little bit description in exchange for he said, atau he start to shake in fear. or he can hear the voice from the other side breathing slowly from the phone. Jadi kamu bisa kasih deskripsi yang lain rather than he said. If you wanna use he said, sorry Calvin, maybe it's like a little bit different with what you said. I think it's fun to say he said, but not too much. Like one or twice, that's cool. But if you say too many times, especially in rapid dialogue, karena kita exchange-nya cepat, itu yang nggak boleh. Karena vibe tegangnya hilang gara-gara he said aja. And last, about the ending. I actually also agree with Calvin about the ending. The suspense was there, and I was like, I'm waiting about the end, like what kind of end, who is this girl that coming to the room? But and then in the end, it was a dream. But for this story, I actually found one way to escape the just a dream hell. And I was expecting you to do that, but apparently you're not. The sad thing is he was wake up in a shock, right? He was opening his eye and then apparently it was a dream. And then you said his mom waking him up. If you didn't say that, you can actually continue after like, apparently that was just a dream. That was just his imagination. Ring, ring, ring. The phone was ringing. He slowly picked him up and said, hello. And then the voice from the other side said, hi, Frankie. What are you watching? So it's like a premonition and not a dream. So it happens, it really happens, and just not yet. He just got the premonitions. Then it won't be a dream. It will be a totally different ending. That was what kind of ending that still can work with your story if you want to make it like it was a dream, but it's also not. And yeah, I think that's all for me. If there's any questions, questions, I will.
I want to add up a little bit. I just remember just one little note. Is that one of the things that you should avoid is that you mention suddenly too many times for the transition and also for the conjunction. So I think you should try to find another conjunction for that, so you don't have to repeat suddenly. Oh. But yeah, it was all nice story. Thank you.
Thank you for the educators. Can I say something? Yeah. For the time that you all say that I'm in a rush in telling the story, it's because I already tried to, when rehearsal, I already tried to make it slower and to create the atmosphere. But when I try that, the time much longer than this, so it will cut the point that I will get. That's why I cut the part of my story, and then I try to make it much shorter, and then I also cut some and the dream sebenarnya itu kayak can I use bahasa in here? Okay. Sebenarnya aku itu yang plot twist itu, sebenarnya aku yang dream itu pengennya ya panjang gitu kan, maksudnya kayak nggak mau bikin itu jadi kayak dream, tapi setelah aku coba dengan ending yang lain, ternyata itu kayak time-nya itu nggak cukup banget gitu, dan waktu coba latihan kayak, aduh 7 menit bener-bener sangat-sangat dikit banget waktunya gitu, jadi aku kayak oke deh nggak apa-apa, kita coba sebisanya supaya story-nya tetap sampai di akhir, endingnya ada, dan klimaksnya ada, tapi kayak dengan waktu yang sesingkat-singkatnya kayak gitu.
Yeah, that's the dilemma of the storyteller. You have to make it right.
Don't worry, not just you. Kita juga kok.
Yeah.
It always happens to us.
Yeah. It's understandable, but yeah, thank you, Gita.
Yeah, I think I have that problem all the time when I'm writing stories, especially for limited time performance. Yeah, the only key is like we have to rehearse and then revise our story and then do another rehearsal and then try just to make as compact as possible. There's no other option rather than just try to revise your story, sadly.
Okay, thank you. That's all I want to say. So I can leave this room.
Okay, thank you for all the educators and Agita Angelina Putri. I think for the personal feedback and Q&A session have already offered from the educators and the participant number 4. Thank you kakak-kakak for the amazing insights and personal feedback for the 4th participant. Okay, to Kak Gita Angelina, you can go back to breakout room We will meet again after all participants' performance are over.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll next to the participants kakak-kakak. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, for the next participants is Kak Gabriela Audria. Halo, Kak Gabriela.
Hello, Kak. Is my camera good enough?
Okay, good. Okay, you have a time to recheck your camera and microphone before we start.
Okay, wait. Give me a sec. I can't see my own camera. Sorry. Where can I see it? Oh, yeah. Okay. Clear enough for the juries and adjudicators? If it's clear, then I'll begin.
Okay, can you see the online stopwatch on the screen?
Yep.
Okay, the committee will start the timer when you enter your first word, Gabriela.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Greetings, adjudicators. My name is Gabriela Audreyong from St. Joseph High School of Pangkal Pinang. And today I will be bringing you my original story called A Tale as Cold as Ice. In one October chilly evening, a group of kids from the small town of Willowsbrook decided to visit this rundown old playground at the edge of their town. This playground was known for its ancient-looking swings and this mysterious, weathered-looking blanket that has laid tangled there in their sandbox for as long as anyone could remember. As the sun dipped over the horizon and casting eerie shadows all over the playground, 5 friends gathered near the sandbox. One of them was Elizabeth, an adventurous young girl who has a penchant for uncovering secrets. Well, after they all gathered there, Elizabeth suggested, "Hey guys, let's check out that creepy blanket over there." She pointed to the tattered, blood-stained looking fabric that sat in the sandbox. The kids exchanged nervous glances among each other, but they eventually agreed. Tom, the bravest one of the group, reached his hand out to touch the blanket. And as his fingers brushed the blanket, a sudden gust of wind rustled the trees surrounding them, and the air grew icy cold. Did you guys feel that? Tom said, his voice trembling. But before anyone could respond, they heard this childlike, faint voice coming from the direction of the blanket. The voice said, "Hello? Is anyone there?" Startled, they all looked at each other with terrified glances. Who's there?" said Elizabeth with quivering fear. The voice whispered back, "I'm kids stared at each other, unsure of what to do. But Elizabeth, always the compassionate one, stepped closer to the blanket. And she said, Lily, if you're there, we want to help you. But where are you? She said, asking to the blanket. Just then, a voice answered back. I'm underneath the blanket. Can you lift it up? The voice whispered. Elizabeth cautiously bent down and gently picked the blanket up, trying to lift it. And as she did, this strange, otherworldly mist started swirling all around her, and the playground seemed to transform. The swings creaked, the shadows lengthened, casting a sinister aura all over the playground. Well, just then, a gust of wind blew the blanket off, revealing nothing underneath it. Elizabeth gasped, stumbling backwards as her friends rushed towards her side. Oh my God, guys! She's gone! She's no longer there! Elizabeth freaked out to her friends. But then, this is when they heard a ghostly giggle that seemed to echo from all around them. The kids were terrified. The voice of Lily, now distorted and so eerie, said that, "Oh, you found me," it whispered. "But I'm not alone." The kids turned to flee and ran as fast as they could in fear. But the playground had already transformed. The swings moved on its own, and the air filled with this thick, unnatural chill. The voice continued to taunt them as they ran, their voice getting closer with each step they took. In a desperate attempt to escape, they reached the sandbox where the blanket had been. But they discovered a terrifying sight. The ghost of a bloody little girl stood there on the sandbox. Her little body, stained with blood, is wrapped around with the blanket. Her body seemed covered in icy frostbites, and her skin was pale and as white as snow itself. It was clear that the girl had died from the cold, and that the blanket wasn't enough to keep her warm. The little girl, the ghost of the little girl, spread her blanket all over the kids, and with one final scream, the kids were sucked into the blanket, disappearing without a trace. The playground fell silent once again, its ancient swings silently swinging and creaking in the night. There, no one came home that day. Their parents didn't bother looking for them because they thought the kids had stayed in one of the other kids' house. But when they didn't come back the next morning, the townsfolk searched high and low for them, and they were found in pristine condition near the playground. They had happy faces and said that they were fine, but they couldn't explain what happened on that fateful night. On their way home, Elizabeth's mother asked her, "Are you really fine?" But Elizabeth, with an eerie smile, responded, "Of course, Mother. After all, they set me free." With an eerie smile. Elizabeth thought that was weird. After all, Elizabeth has never called her mom Mother. Legends has it that now anyone who dares venture into the playground will hear terrifying screams of kids begging for help. Thank you for listening to my story, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Thank you, Kak Gabriela, for your great performance. And the duration of your performance is 7 minutes per second. Okay, after this, we are going to continue to the next session, which is the personal feedback and the Q&A session that I will give it to the educators for Kajrina and Kelvin. Time is yours.
Okay, Gabriela. Wow,
Yes, Kak.
the story is amazing. I really like the story. The suspense was there. It's
Thank
really
you so
really
much. Thank you so much, Kak.
I really like your story, and I didn't expect that ending. I was kind of nervous because after the kids disappeared and their parents searching for them, I was like really wish like, oh my god, please stop there. It's there's a very nice ending, but I felt a little bit disappointed when they come back. But then I canceled all of my disappointment because apparently that's not the real Elizabeth, which just makes me very happy. Not the, I'm happy, not for them. Yeah, I really like.
Thank you. Kak. That was my goal, to make the plot twist at the end.
Yeah, you did a good job. At least for me, I really like that ending. Okay. There are some notes that
Thank you so much, Kak.
you can come.
Thank you so much, Kak.
There are some notes for the story itself. The first is I will talk about more about performance because Calvin is the expert about the story itself. First thing is, yes, of course, because this is an English competition, so you have to have like a good grammar. You have to like make sure you say the pronunciation is good. But one thing, when we do performance, especially if it's live one, you don't actually need to fix when you have some mistakes and you notice, because there might be a chance that your audience didn't even realize it. But if you say it like I noticed a lot of times that you notice there's a mistake. So we notice there's a mistake, but you didn't let it go and you fix it right away, which means it feels like, of course, for us, the educators, we try to pay attention about all of the grammatical mistakes, but for the other audience, they don't really care. So if you fix it like that, it sounds like, hi guys, I make a mistake that I want all of you to know. I do make a mistakes.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
So don't worry too much about that, and just try to let it go, because it's also will mess up with the flow of your story, especially when it was a very high intense in the climax, or when we are very in suspense mode. And if you do that, it's like trying to break the vibe from your story, and we just realized like, oh yeah, this is a story. I'm not into your story anymore, because I have noticed some things that outside the story.
I see. Thank you so much for the advice, Kak. I will keep that in mind.
Second thing is, I don't in online storytelling, I don't really mind if you are sitting close to your camera, which is nice because I can see your expression very clearly. But one thing that we have to take notes is when you do have a wide range of movement. If you are too close, you cannot see your own hands. So if you have like a huge, it was very chilly, I cannot see your hands. So yeah, that is a good thing that you have a wide range of movement. I really like that, but I also hope that I can see it, because you can, of course, it feels more huge when you do this, but if you are close, it's as only in online storytelling, you can also huge, just to make sure your hands is within the range of the camera.
Yeah.
That was good. Just because if it's something important, your hand movement, your expressions, your eye contacts, if it's something important you want to show us, make sure that we can see it.
I see.
And it's also relatable for the second one. The third one is, I don't know, like I think every storyteller have their opinion about this, but I don't really like when people cover their mouth when they are talking. because your mouth is not just to show your pronunciation. It's not just to help us to listen to your what do you say, but at the same time, your mouth also have a lot of impact in your expressions. So when you cover it a lot, you can the expressions you have a very good expressions, but we cannot see everything because your smile, your pout, it will also it will also affecting your expression. So if you want to do this instead, like from the side, so we can still see your face, but you still covering your mouth. If you need this for the story for purpose, just don't cover it in front of the camera. Make sure we still can see it.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And,
Thank you for the advice.
yeah, and the last thing is like, in the end, I feel like you a little bit rush in the story. The beginning was nice, the climax was nice, but up until the end, I feel like the pace suddenly heightened up, even though we already passed the suspense part, like the horror of the kids got kidnapped and everything, we already passed that. But in the very end of the story, it suddenly felt rushed. I think it's because you check the timekeepers and to finish it. Yeah, I think
Yeah. I had to.
It makes a very it's very noticeable. So yeah, just make sure you manage the pace. So yeah, try to rehearse it and try to make sure you have like maybe 1 minute spare time. So you if you want to do closing, if there's something bad happen and you need to try to make up for that part, you can still have the spare time. I think I said too much. Calvin got bored, so I will give it to Calvin.
Thank you, Kak Adrina.
I'm not bored. I'm just checking to my notes. I'm sorry. Anyway. All right. Hi, Gabriela.
Hello.
What can I call you? Gabriela,
Kak.
Audrey?
Hmm?
What can I call you? Gabriela, Audrey?
Grade? I'm in the 12th grade right now.
Oh, no. What can I call you, by the way?
Oh, just Gabby.
Oh, Gabby. All right, Gabby. Kak Jenny already mentioned your story is great. I hardly saw plot hole or everything that kind of eerie in your story. Okay, I'm just going to talk about this story a little bit. So, the story is actually already good. The plot line is great. It has the plot line, the storyline, everything is good. The orientation and everything, so on and so forth. Just a little bit here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you mention the cause of the ghost, the lily? Like, did you explain how did she become a ghost or how did she die or something?
Yeah, I said that it was clear she died because she went frozen. She died because of the cold, but I didn't really elaborate on the background of why it's in the playground.
Yeah, I think that kind of small detail could impact more if you put it in the story. Actually, I just checked your story because I tried to find which part of your story is not really. I cannot say it's not really necessary, but it could be removed and then you can put something else. For example, when you are in the orientation itself, from the orientation until they met Lily, there are a lot of narration and also a lot of dialogue that it could be shortened. So you can put another detail to make the story more interesting. For example, how did Lily become the ghost, or why did she so angry? Why did she cannot escape, or why did she want to be free? So that it doesn't have to be long, but but as small as the explanation could be, it could give your story much more explanation. It's not that it is bad, but it could be better than.
I understand. Thank you, Kak. I will keep that in mind.
And the next part is, how old would you say these characters are?
I said group of young kids, but I didn't really specify. So only around like 10, 9, 10.
All right, cool. So I also think that they are like between the age of like 9 or 10 or like below 10, right? And you mentioned that the parents did not try to find because the parents thought that they might be having sleepover at each other's home. I think that part is you can delete that part or maybe like just change a little bit because I think one of those parents might actually wondering where are their kids, right? Because there's a bunch of kids just to make it more make sense.
Okay, I see, I see.
Yeah, I think that's all for me because the story is actually amazing. There's not much I can change from this story. You can just make it more detailed a bit and make it more interesting enough, and not left the audience like questioning. Okay, so where the story goes? Why did she end up there, or why does it happen to them? Why did the Lily wants to be free? I think that's the only little question that I would like to know, and you can try to explain in your next performance. Is it your
Yeah,
first storytelling competition?
no, it's not actually. But I'm in the middle. I agree with all you said, and I also noticed that my story is not really completed because I'm in the middle of NSDC preparation.
Oh, congratulations! Good luck on that one.
Yeah, I'm from Bangka Belitung, Pangasinan.
Oh, you're the delegate from Pangkal Pinang. Great.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're going to go to Yogyakarta, and this competition was kind of squished, sandwiched in between because I didn't see the dates correctly. So
But you
I
still
wish
manage. Exactly. I was a debaters before, so I know that feeling so well. So yeah. All right,
Thank you.
congratulations, Gabriela. Good luck on your next competition. Good luck for your NSDC and back to the committee.
Thank you so much, Kak Novin and Kak Ajrina. Thank you.
Okay, I think for the personal feedback and the Q&A session, I have already offered from the educators and participants number 5. Thank you kakak-kakak for the amazing insight and personal feedback for the 5 participants. Okay, untuk Kak Gabriela, you can go back to breakout room ya.
Thank you, Kak. Thank you all.
Okay. Okay, we will assign the next participants ya kakak-kakak. Wait a minute.
Guys, can I ask for like 3 minutes break? I need to go to the restroom real quick.
Okay, of course, Kak.
All right, I will let you know. Okay, I'm back.
Kak Ajrina? Oke. Oke, kita next ke participants ya, Kak. Alright. Halo Kak Estefania Gloria. Okay, you have a time to recheck your camera and microphone before we start the performance ya Kak. Okay, can you see the online stopwatch on the screen?
Stefania Gloria dengan ini. Halo,
Okay.
Stefania Gloria dengan ini.
Okay, Kak, the committee will start the timer when you enter your first word ya.
Okay.
Okay, Kak Estefania, you can start the performance.
Langsung mulai gitu.
Oke, Kak Estefania, boleh untuk dimulai?
Once upon a time, on a shiny day, one mother standing call her Emily. Excuse me, let me take my darling photo, please. Excuse me, I'm all surrounded by. Oh yeah, sure, you can run. Thank you. Stay still on the young mattress. Smile brightly, see her son waving his arms. Hi, mommy. And Emmy say, hi, darling. Don't be naughty, okay? And he replied, yes, yes, mommy. And then, every routine and every day, small Samuel played in the playground. While Emily saw her son, she held up her camera and others took the photo and start to capture Samuel's photos. Samuel, look at here. Where's my mom? Samuel, here. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then, if Samuel mother's friends come, Emmy, he looks to take a photo Samuel. Yeah, because I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see her happy. Of course, this will be the delicious sandwich, right? Yes, Mama. Okay, 1, 2. Many things that happen as a mother, as well as after every moment in someone. And 2 years later, the magic with a beautiful sparkling garden in the wedding. The newlywed couple ready to stay. And there is an old woman. Look at her son. Samuel. Yes, Mom. Her smile. She gave her son's present and say, open it when I leave. Samuel wrinkled his frown. What is this, Mom? Samuel opened the present and blue smartphone while was accompanying his mom. Whoa, oh my God,
I can realize that you still have this look. With carefully and warm smile. Some will open one by one to application smart. Start from the sneak peek he always played when he got home from playground until the last application on the phone is gallery. Back to the priceless memory down. And the memory of his childhood remind him to her about her mother. She's always communicating, and with it he realized can hold his ears. Oh my God, look at this. This is his brother. There is an old woman can stand to always with me. It provided by the blue smartphone. I can believe that we still have it. At the moment, we take a deep and say so. I love you. But by the way, I want to stand with a gay mom. The point is, the good memories will bring you to the better future. Therefore, the stories are principles. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Kak Stefania Gloria for the performance, and the duration of your performance is 6 minutes and 8 seconds. Okay, after this, we are going to continue to the next session, which is personal feedback and the Q&A session that I will give it to the educators for Kak Kelvin and Kak Angelina. 5 is yours.
I'm sorry for bad connection.
Alright, hi. Aku panggil apa ya, by the way?
Gloria dulu.
Gloria, okay, Gloria. Okay, aside from the connection issue, jadi aside from the connection issue, I understand and I already read the story. I think I'm going to give you the comments based off the story that you already deliver itself. Yeah. The story itself is actually good. It's really hearty and touchy. It's about loving connection and also relationship. But I would love to have more depth in the conflict. So the conflict itself needs to be more complicated. So the audience can feel the building of the struggle of the who is it? Is it the child and the parents? So when you're creating story, I understand that you need to get into certain amount of time because you have the exact time that you need to stop and to finish your story. But it still can be possible for you to manage those storyline. So first of all, probably because in this story, there are more on the dialogue in the beginning for the orientation itself. So you can try to make your story, your orientation a bit more simpler to probably just shorten uh, the orientation, and then you can jump into the conflict. So you can explain the struggle, and then after that you can say about 20 years later, after the main character already achieving what they supposed to achieve, and then they look back in time, and then they recall the memories, and then they try to understand, wow, it has been a very far, and here I am as a successful person and new person. I think that's all from me. But actually, it is a very nice story. But I need to see more of the conflicts and the complication of the story itself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oke, tadi siapa panggilannya? Sorry. Udah fokus kan? Gloria. Gloria, yeah. First, I think for the connection itself, I think what affecting your connection is also about the background. I think it's really make it a little bit heavier for the app to upload your pictures because they have to always make sure you were in it. So kalau misalnya ada masalah koneksi, I think it's better if you just undo the background and try to check if it's got better. And for the story itself, yeah, Kevin already said the story itself is actually very good. Like it's very heart-touching story. But maybe there is some points that I have here for the story itself. First, because storytelling is a narrative, what we call it, narrative performance. Narrative performance, so we have to always make sure to, when we use the description, when we describe the narration itself, we use verb 2, we use passive past tense. But I noticed several times that you are using like start instead of started, do instead of did. So yeah, it's a little bit hard to make sure when we do the dialogue we use present tense, and when we do the narrative we use past tense. But I hope that you can, next time you can make sure that you use the correct vocabulary when you do the narrative, because it's also help to tell which actually happened in the past and what actually happened right now when you tell the story, especially because you have something that happened when Samuel was still young, and then when he was getting married. I have one note here, like, also we need to choose appropriate word when we say something. It's not that I can't believe you still I can't realize you still have the smartphone, but I can't believe you still have the smartphone. I can't realize, aku tidak bisa menyadari bahwa kamu masih punya smartphone-nya. Dalam bahasa Indonesia aja tuh dengarnya agak aneh kan, antara mungkin bisa aku nggak percaya kamu masih punya, I can't believe kamu masih punya smartphone yang dulu kamu pakai, atau aku nggak menyangka, I didn't expect you still have that smartphone. So pemilihan kata akan berpengaruh bagaimana kita sebagai audiens mereflect ke story yang kamu bawa. Next is also about the story subtext itself. Calvin tadi udah sempat nyinggung juga. Other than the story itself, like we want to know more about what happened between this mother and the son. In the same time, I also expect you to put more emotion. So describe, ini kan cerita yang menyentuh. Jadi bagaimana sih perasaan si ibu ketika dia ngelihat anaknya sekarang masih kecil, lalu ketika dia akhirnya sudah besar, dia mau ngasih hadiah itu ketika he got married, how the child's feeling. Try to use some description word like how they might feel try to describe it more. Jadi bukan cuma kita melihat apa yang terjadi, tapi kita juga bisa tahu sebenarnya masing-masing karakter ini what they see on each others. Yeah, I think that's all from me. If there's any questions before we give it back to the committee, or any comments, or maybe Cafe want to add more? Okay, if there's not, I'll give it back to the committee.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
I think for the personal feedback and presentation, I've already offered, yeah, from the educators and participants, number 6. Thank you, Kelvin and also Katrina for the amazing insights and the personal feedback for the 6 participants. Okay, untuk Kak Estefania, you can go back to breakout room, ya. We'll meet again after all participants' performance are over. Okay, we will next to the participants. We will assign the next participants, ya, kakak-kakak. Oke, untuk partisipan selanjutnya ada Kak Nindya Prima Siva. Halo Kak.
Tes, suara aku terdengar jelas?
Jelas Kak.
Oke, iya. Halo Kak.
Oke. Okay, hello. You have a time to recheck your camera and your microphone and also the signal before we start your performance.
Oke, thank you Kak. Tes, am I audible? Clear?
Audible, yes. Okay, you can see online stopwatch on the screen.
Yes.
Okay, the committee will start the timer when you answer your first word, ya Kak.
Hi there. Do you love candy? When you were kids, you must have loved sweet treats. My name is Hanin, and today I'm going to tell the sweet story of my friends, William and Grandpa Joe, on their delightful journey. Are you guys ready? Let's begin. Once upon a time, in a small city, there stood a mysterious candy house that captured the imagination of both young and old alike. It was known as the Sweet Emporium, and it belonged to the reluctant candy maker, Mr. Whipple. The Sweet Emporium was a legend in its own right, and its allure was so great that it even overshadowed the most famous chocolate factory in the city. One sunny afternoon, William, a young boy who has an insatiable sweet tooth, sat on his front porch, longing for the Sweet Emporium. His Grandpa Joe, who had heard countless tales of the sweet candy, joined him. Well, have you ever wondered what it's like inside the candy house? All the time, Grandpa, but nobody ever comes out. It's so suspenseful. Indeed, it is, but perhaps one day we will know the secrets behind it. The next morning, Mr. Whipple made an announcement to invite people to come to his house. He did this every year, and every person who has the opportunity to enter the house would come out with a very joyful face. But they never once told what was inside the house. While William was playing in his front yard, he saw something flying above his head. A gold ticket, shivering like a ray of sunshine, appeared in front of him. Grandpa! William, this is so great. We must go and see what awaits us inside. The next morning, William and Grandpa Joe stepped to the candy-coated gates. When they entered, the interior was even more astonishing than the exterior. A vast, glistening candy wonderland stretched out before them, with chocolate rivers, marshmallow trees, and gummy bear pathways. Indeed it is, but we must be careful. There must be challenges ahead. As William and Grandpa Joe explored the sweet emporium, they encountered a series of suspenseful challenges and enchanting candy creations. Grandpa, it's like a puzzle. There's a message written on it. Blue is wealth and red is candy. What does it mean? Let's try to solve the puzzle together. As William and Grandpa Joe tried to solve the puzzle, a few minutes later, they finished arranging the puzzle. The door near them suddenly swung wide open. They saw a house that was made out of candy. But strangely, the house was sturdy even though all of its materials were made out of candy. They continued to enter the house, and when they continued to enter the house, they stood right in front of the two doors. There's a red door and there's a blue door. I think we have to choose between them carefully. Yeah, you're right. Something suspicious here. There's no clue. They stood right in front of those two doors and thought carefully which door should they pick. Remember the messages written in candy letters? Blue is wealth and red is candy. Yeah, you're right, Grandpa. Should we pick candy? Because I think I want to continue our journey. Besides, it's what we ever dreamt of. Grandpa Joe agreed and he opened the red door. When he opened the red door, he finally came to the grand chamber where Mr. Whipple greeted them. Welcome, William and Grandpa Joe. You managed to solve all the riddles in this house. Even you were choosing this house rather than wealth. Thank you so much, Mr. Whipple. It's been a pleasure for us to be invited to this house. It's been a pleasure for me. Besides, I've been looking for you guys since a very long time. I've been looking for someone that has a pure love for candy. Someone that will carry the Sweet Emporium's legacy. What do you mean, Mr. Whipple? Although my appearance looks young, but actually I am very old. I am even much older than you, I'm even much older than you, Grandpa Joe. I've been looking for someone to take care of this house. I want to retire soon, but I cherish this house too much. I want someone to truly care this house. Thank you, Mr. Ripples. Since I was a kid, I always dreamt of entering this house. And now you're choosing us to take care of this house. Thank you, Mr. Ripples. Mr. Ripples, this is amazing. What should we do now? With a wave of his hand, Mr. Whipple transformed the Sweet Emporium into a breathtaking spectacle of colors and lights. William Grandpa Joe, you are now the guardian of the Sweet Emporium. Share its magic with the world, just as I have. From that day forward, William and Grandpa Joe managed the Sweet Emporium, sharing its candy wonders with the world. The Sweet Emporium became a place where dreams came true. The end.
All right. Thank you
Okay.
for Hanindia for the great performance. And the duration of your performance is 7 minutes and 22 seconds. Okay, after this, we are going to the personal feedback. Also the Q&A session, I will give it to kakak-kakak ya Kak. You may have the time for decision Kak.
Okay, I go first, or Calvin want to go first? Okay. Nindya Primesiva. How can I call you?
You can call me Hanin for short.
Okay, Hanin. Hanin, the story is actually quite nice. Yeah, it reminds me of Charlie the Chocolate Factory, especially the golden ticket. Is that your inspiration? I think it's your inspiration for sure.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the plot itself, I see that you get the candy house and suspense, but here I want to make clear what is considered suspense. Yeah, suspense is not always about the horror or the thriller kind of movie. Suspense is when you got excited about something's unsure. But in the story, even though you said that the William and Grandpa Joe's adventure was with a lot of suspense in the candy house, but I don't really feel that suspense throughout the story, except you tell us that it is a suspense adventure. But the suspense, like their excitement, their curiosity when they solve the puzzles, when they need to choose the door, if you can elaborate about their personifications and their personal their emotion that time, I think it still can show like the excitement and the curiosity to make like this house is mysterious, the candy house, like they was curious about it and they really want to know what happens inside. But after they enter it, it's just like they're going to a normal trip for me. So I am expecting more suspense in the story. Second is about the positioning, because I also wear hijab, so I have this problem all the time. But be careful, it's not only about hijab, sometimes it's glasses, sometimes it's your hat, sometimes it's your hand. When you look sideways, sometimes because you look a little bit to the back, your hijab will covering all of your face and we cannot see it, which also means we cannot see your expressions, which also means we cannot know what happened, like what kind of face you make, even though the expressions is the core of storytelling, because we always need to know, are you happy? Is the character happy? Is the character excited? Is this character nervous? Are they anxious? Your face will tell it all. So make sure at least 3 or half of your face was shown to the camera. Yeah, like Calvin did. Thank you, Calvin, for the example. Next is, yeah, I think I said it before for the other participant as well. But in live performance, if you make a mistake, just move on. No need to fix it, because if you fix it, it will ruin the plot of your story itself, because you need to pause and then you need to fix it and then you continue. So the excitement we have for listening to your story got cut off, and that is not very nice for the audience. So if you realize that you make a mistake, that is a good thing because you were aware of it. But when you do the performance, just move on, just continue. And last thing is, yeah, I think there's one thing that I was curious at the beginning in the story, if I didn't hear it wrong, there's a lot of people that coming to that place and get out, but they feel happy, but no one told them what happened in the candy house. Why no one tell what happened inside? And then when William and Grandpa Joe come in, and then they finally got the company itself, and they have to take care of it, they have to share the magic. But I don't think I find the answer why people keep silent about what happened inside. What happened with the others? What's make it different between William and Grandpa Joe, and what makes it different for the others? Because I don't think there is an explanation about that until the end, and that's actually really make me curious what actually happens. I'm still wondering up until now. Do you know what happened to them? What happened with the other participants that got the golden ticket?
Actually, I was when William and Grandpa Joe found the red door and the blue door, they encountered wealth and candy, and the other person that has ever been saw that door, they choose the blue door, so they didn't continue the journey, and they got the wealth. So they will always come out with a very joyful face. That's the reason why, but I don't really explain it in my story, but because yeah, I think it's just the little details that I missed. So I am very sorry for that. So
No, it's okay. I do expect that they choose wealth. Like I think you don't need to really say that they choose wealth. Yeah, it's clear. But I was wondering about why they keep it silent. Why no one else know about it until you get there? That is like the little detail that I expect at least got explained, not to us, but to the William and Grandpa Joe. Like, is there any rules? Is there any something else? Yeah, that is a small detail, but it will really affecting the plot of your story itself. The rest, I'll give it to Kelvin.
All right. Thank you, Katrina. Halo, Hanin.
hello, Kak.
Okay, so I'm just going to be straightforward here. I'm going to talk about the story itself. So I'm not going to talk about the performance because the performance itself has already been said from Katrina. There are several question, not really question, but as also suggestion for your story. First of all, the notes is that the story is, we know the inspiration that you got your story from is from the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So the tips is, if you want to use or adapt a story from already existing story or maybe a movie, you could try to make a plot twist there. Plot twist is different from the editing or just like necessarily change the setting or also the characters. But if the story has different plot and then it kind of twisting the storyline, it's going to be much better than the already existing plot, and then you just change a bit of the character and the setting itself. And the second of all, because this is, oh no, I'm going to skip that part. My second of all, there needs to be more explanation in your story, because I still missing a lot of question, like why. But the first of all, what because in the end of the story, it mentioned that, who's the name of the boy? William. Oh yeah, the William finally got the chocolate factory, or the chocolate house, the chocolate dome, if you say. But there needs to be more explanation on why he is the chosen one amongst of other people, rather than only saying that he is a very much love chocolate, and that's the only reason that I got in the beginning of the story, that he is a chocoholic and he loves chocolate very much, but it never explained why he is the chosen one. And the second of all is that I need well, what this is the extension notes from what Kajina said is that the suspense. So the suspense of the story itself is not really there, because I think you should try to elaborate more on the challenge that is given, how they are supposed to fix the puzzle, or how they're trying to get into the house, or this just simply questioning why are we here? What are we doing there? Between William and also his grandpa, because they're invited there for a reason, but they have no clue, right? They just got the golden ticket that has his name written on it, but they do not understand why would they be the chosen one and why would they get invited there in the very first place. So I think that's all. And my last is that I noticed that in like later plot, in like almost the ending of the story, you got a lot of dialogue. You can try to make it simple and try use more narrative to elaborate what is the idea of this story and why he is there, and just in general answering all of the questions. So when you are trying to make a story, try to ask your story. Why is it happen? When does it happen? How is it going to solve this problem? How is it going to answer all of the questions that the audience might have? But I think that's all from me. It was nice performance. Thank you, honey.
Okay, I think for the personal feedback and the session have already offered, yeah, from the educator and participant number 7. Thank you, Kak Kelvin and also Kak Ajrina for the amazing insights and the personal feedback for the 7 participants. Kak Hanindia. Okay, Kak Hanindia, you can go back to the breakout room, yeah. We will meet again after all participants' performance are over.
Thank you so much, Kak Calvin, Kak Ajrina, and Kak Anggita.
Okay, now we will assign the next participants, yeah, Kak Kelvin and also Kak Ajrina.
Hello?
Okay, halo kami share.
Yeah,
Kita wait a minute ya, Kak.
okay. Okay.
All right. For Kamishe, you have a time to recheck your camera and microphone and also the signal before we start your performance. Okay, can you see the online stopwatch on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the committee will start the timer when you enter your first word, ya, Kak.
Good afternoon, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you today? I hope all of you have a good day and you don't have any problem with your siblings. Because honestly, in the morning, I just got another problem with my sisters. Every day, every time, there's always new problem. I don't like when my parents start comparing me with my sister, or when they borrow my thing without asking my permission. Sometimes all I wish that I can be
only child in my family. Do you relate to my story, guys? If you relate, today I would like to tell you a tale that inspired by never-ending sisterhood battle. My name is Misha Kiara Rameswari, and I'm from one senior high school in Bad. And this is the story of the magic ball of sisterhood. Enjoy! The story began a beautiful morning in beautiful park. There were three sisters, Kiara, Kinan, and Kanes. They got picnic in the park. While they are walking, they found a sparkling bag. Wait, what? A sparkling bag? Yes, a sparkling bag. Kinan picked it up. Suddenly, boom! A genie came out from that bag. Whoa, Hi, beautiful ladies. My name is Mr. Genie, and this is your lucky day because I will give you 2 wishes. Of course, 3 of them excited. They started speaking about their wishes. Oh, Mr. Genius, please give me a new iPhone, said Kiara, the older one. Oh, Mr. Genius, I want NCT ticket concert. I want to see Jano, said Kinan, who loved the K-pop. Mr. Genius, can you give me ticket to travel around the world? Said Kenneth with the most adventurous. But wait, what is wrong in here? Yeah, they forgot that they only have 2 wishes, and one of them must be sacrificed. And who want to sacrifice? No one wants to sacrifice. They argue because every sister want their wishes to come true. Mr. Genius just look at them and waiting patiently. He said wisely, okay, girl, okay, it's done. Listen to me. When you have money, you can buy anything in this world, but you cannot buy love. Look at the track. Yeah, Mr. Genie was right. Yeah, being sister is more important than anything in this world. Finally, they decide what they want. Okay, Mr. Genie, we already have decisions. First, we want our relationship to become more stronger. Second, we want to make today become memorable day. Can you do it for me? Said Kiara. Mr. Genie smiled. Immediately, Adakadabra, boom! Changed the park into magical land. He changed the tree into candy cake. He changed the bird into butterfly. They had a lot of delicious food in there, favorite music, and also place to dancing. They spent the whole day with laughing, sulking, having fun together. They forgot about their wishes because now they already have the best thing in the world. Yeah, they have each other. When the sunset came and the magical land ended, Kiara looks at her sisters. Oh, Kinan, Knes, maybe I don't have iPhone, but I'm thankful to the God that I have good of you that always make me feel enough. When they come back home, they know that this sweet memory will always stuck in their head. And finally, they happily ever after as sisters. The end, guys. Do you like the story? Yeah, I know. Sometimes having a sibling is exhausted and annoying. But for me, the cool thing of having sibling is I will always have a best friend that always open their arm whenever I want to come back home. Thank you for listening to my story. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for Kami Shakira for your great performance. And the duration of your performance is 5 minutes and 24 seconds. Okay, now is the time for the personal feedback and also the Q&A session. I will give it to Kak Kelvin and Kak Angelina.
Katrina, you're not audible. Oh, yeah.
Oke. Wishe, panggilannya gimana nih?
Kiera.
Oh, Kiera. Namanya makin lama makin susah ya. Kiera, the story is very nice. It's very simple, sweet sisterhood. Like sis five is there. I really like your personification for all the kids. Like they have like very young age voice, but you can give them different voice, which is quite nice. But one thing that I want to give notes is first about the performance itself is because your own voice is actually a little bit high pitched, like you have a very high pitched voice, and then you make the characters also have a high voice. I noticed that in the middle of the story, the narrator voice become, who is the older one before Kiera? Kinan? Is it Kinan? So Kinan's and the narrator's voice become one. I expect that it was Kinan who was talking, but apparently it was you who was explaining what happens when they play and they found the bag. So be careful about that. If you want to give them different voice, you must be consistent. Or if you have a hard time to give them different voice, you can just maybe you can give them different personalizations. The way they talk, you can change it. So you can keep one voice or only two different voice, just to make sure you are not overwhelmed by the variation of voice you have there. Second of all,
Okay.
about the story. The story is nice. You have everything you need to put. Like there's the back, there is the is it playground? Yeah, I think it's playground. The back, the happily and the park, or the park. We have everything, but it's not that the story is wrong, but it will be better. Like if you want to tell a story, and yes, we have some things we call like the moral of the story, which was hidden there, but it will be better for the story if the girls solve their own problem rather than the jinn give them the answer. Like they almost quarrel. They want a different thing. They only have two ways, and they have to decide which one they want to use for the wishes. But in the story, they didn't even get to quarrel. They didn't have their climax. So in climax, we have problem. But I don't think we have the problem here, because before the problem even started, the problem just about started. We have three ways, we have two ways, but there are three of us and we want different thing to become true. What should we do? And then before they managed to solve it themselves, they can just say, guys, remember, it's not about the stuff, it's about our sisterhood, it's about our relation with each other, and we have to make sure that we keep each other close. And then at the end, oh yeah, right. I am sick. They have argued. They have to think by themselves. Each characters have to think why they want to give up the tickets. They want to give up the iPhone. They want to give up what they want for their sister. And if you can put that in the story, because you also still have a lot of time in the story is a little bit is still short and you still have more time, it will be very nice if you can put that in the story, because I would like to know more about the sisters. I think that's all for me. Calvin, if you want to add more.
Hello. So yeah, I think it's just extended comment from what Kak Julina has said, because the performance itself is well. and it already delivered well. And the story itself, yeah. So I would also agree with what Kajina said, and I want to add up a few things. So first of all, is that I think I need to see more of the characterization between those three sisters. So I think it would be much better if you try to distinguish what is the among three sisters, based on what they want, right? For like example, oh, the first one wants the iPhone. It means that she likes to uh, surfing on the social media, and that's why the character can be a more like girlish, like influencer type of style. And then the other one is like he wants to go to the concert, so that's why she is very K-popers, hardcore K-popers. And I think from those wishes, like from those the first initiate wishes, that you could try to emphasize the characterization of the three sisters. And then yeah, because your story is kind of a little bit shorter than the average story, you can put more detail, especially when they're about to quarrel, when they're about to fight each other to get the wishes. I think you could try to probably had them argue a little bit more, try to make them fighting each other, because because at the beginning of your performance, when you're greeting all of us, you said that you have a rough morning because you have to quarrel with your sister, and that's kind of initiate that sister relationship could be that wild. So I think I need you to like put more the that part. I mean, like how you solve the problem, and then how it fight, how they solve their own problem. But it was a nice story and performance. Thank you so much, Kira.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think for the personal feedback and the Q&A have already offered, yeah, from the educators and the participants number 8. Thank you, Kak Kelvin and also Kak Joina for the personal feedback and also the amazing insights for the 8 participant. Okay, untuk kami Shakira, you can go back to breakout room, yeah. We will meet again after all participants' performances are over.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, we will assign the next participants, yeah, Kelvin and Council Arjuna. Oke, halo Kak Lulu Rahmawati.
Halo Kak.
All right, you have a time to recheck your camera and your microphone and also the signal before we start your performance.
Oke Kak.
Okay, for Kak Lulu Rahmawati, you can open your camera and your microphone. All right, can you see the online stopwatch on the screen, Kak Lulu?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The committee will start the timer when you enter your first word, ya Kak.
Okay. I'm sorry, can I start it?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. The honorable judges and all of the audience. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about a mystical drama in international school. So, this school held a contest drama. And I'm standing here to let you know that in this drama, including two princesses named Princess Arum and Princess Padme. So don't go anywhere because I'm going to tell you the story in detail. There was a kingdom where people lived peacefully and never found difficulty to fulfill their limits. And the king has governed her people with care and wisdom. And it was told that the king had the daughters with similar character. They was wise, hospitable, and helpful. The elder one was Princess Arum, and the younger one was Princess Padme. They lived together, kept the same affection, and loved each other. But now Princess Padme hated Princess Arum audience. And do you know why? Because after Princess Arum gets the royal throne, everyone and their parents only care about Princess Arum and forgot the Princess Padme. Princess Padme was so upset and really had Princess Arum. And finally, Princess Padme came to the witch Maribel place and said, Maribel, would you help me? I want to kill someone. And Maribel said, of course, princess, but you should kill someone you love. At first, Princess Padme was confused because someone she loved is her father. But considering that she already had Princess Arum, she immediately sacrificed her father with potion turned it into a candy. And not long after that, their father was sick and died. But when their father was sick, their father given a message to stay always together. The next day, Princess Padme invited Mrs. Arum to the forest to give a candy from witch. And after Princess Arum eaten the candy, Princess Arum was died. And Princess Arum was died. Princess Padme immediately pushed Princess Arum in the abyss while saying, "Ha ha 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 ha! My stupid sister! Now nothing can disrupt my happiness anymore." And finally, Princess Padme occupied the royal throne. And this story is out for audience? Not yet, because after Princess Arum still love again because she was helped by good sorcerer. Huh? Can you guess why Princess Arum still love again? Hey, Princess Arum immune to magic? Or B, Princess Arum pretending to be died? Just think first, let's go back to the story. Yes, Princess Arum still love again because she was helped by good sorcerer. And after being helped, Princess Arum asked, Madam,
Can you tell me why I can die? And the good sorcerers replied, is that your sister kill you and your father? What? After hearing that, Princess Arum was very angry. And the good sorcerers helped Princess Arum to be calmed down. But Princess Arum already had Princess Patni and want to kill Princess Patni. Finally, Princess Arum came to the Princess Patni place and crashed right away. Finally, they're attacking each other. But when they're attacking each other, suddenly Nerva come to give a power for the two princesses. Come on, come on, come on. Go on, my two sweet princess. Come on. But suddenly, of nowhere, come their father's voice. Oh, my two daughters, whom I love very much. Please get along each other. Actually, you can only die when your sister kill you. And they listened it, but it was too late because their blood was dripping everywhere. But their blood is very fragrant. And you know what? The witch couldn't stand with this fragrance. She screamed, oh, help! I can't stand with this fragrance. I cannot breathe. She screamed, and then she died. And ding, 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 magically, it healed Princess Arun and Princess Patni. And finally, Princess Arun and Princess Patni forgive each other, and they come to the village and live happily together in the kingdom. The end. So, from this story, we can learn: don't be afraid of anything in your life, because the God will help us, and we have to love each other. Okay, I'm Alulu Rahmawati from Vocational High School Bina Besawaran, and thank you.
All right, good job for Kak Lulu. Your great performance, and the duration of your performance is 8 minutes and 1 second. Okay, now is the time for the personal feedback, also the Q&A session. I will give it to Kak Kelvin and also Kak Ajrena.
All right, I think Ajina still have some difficulties with the audio, so I'm going to speak first. Okay, hello Lolo.
Hi,
All right, how are you feeling?
I feel good and happy.
Okay, great. That's the energy that we're hoping for. Okay, so I have feedback here for you. But first of all, I like your energy. I like the your ambience and your atmosphere that you're trying to convey here for the audience. That's very good. But I don't think I'm going to talk about the performance with you. I will leave that to Kak Ajrina. So I'm going to talk about the story itself. Can you tell me the idea where do you get this story came from? Where do you get the inspiration of the story?
That story is only my own competition.
Okay, okay, okay. So it is actually good. So the thing is, I already understand. I got the idea that you're trying to deliver and the points of your story itself. But there are a few things that still left me question about the story because a lot of the plot here is left unanswered. So we're still left with some with the question why, who, and why in general. The first is that this one. So when you told us the princess have similar characteristic between each other, I think it's better for you to explain how similar they are because you mentioned that they have the similarities and they kind of look alike with each other, and that is why I think you need to describe more the relationship between those two, because also when it's said that who is the first princess, the Arum, and then the throne goes to Princess Arum. Oh yeah, the throne goes to Princess Arum, and that is why Princess Padmi hated her, right? I think it needs to be explained why she hated. Because is it because Princess Padmi is the first daughter, so she got a throne, or because because Princess Arum just hated her because Padmi got the throne. That's first. And the second of all is that when Princess Arum tried to kill Princess Padmi, and then they're creating this kind of shenanigan with the witch. The conflict there left me question about the father. So the father here never explained why that he is the characteristic of the father is not explained broadly. So he just exists and then he died without knowing the problem between those two children. Gitu loh. Jadi si the king, the father, kan dia nggak ada masalah apa-apa. And from the story itself, it did not explain that the father actually knew about their quarrel, about the hatred that goes between the princesses, and suddenly he became the victim. And the third of all, and the third of all is that when you're bringing a character, let's try to keep the character or everything that you are mentioned in the story became the important thing that you have to carry from the beginning or since it is mentioned until the end of the story. So Princess Padmi is killed, trying to be killed, and then he just pushed from the cliff or the abyss as that you mentioned, and then she was helped by the sorcerer, right? But after that, sorcerer did not appear anymore. Is it the same sorcerer or is it different sorcerer from the first time? Because you mentioned they're a witch, they're a sorcerer. So yeah, so please keep in mind that when you're mentioning something, you have to carry this subject or object until the end of the story, and that it has to have an impact. Yeah, and lastly from me is that the content of the ending of the story is kind of abstract for me because it is mentioned that their blood is fragrance. Why their blood is fragrance, and why is it killing or defeat the witch, and why is the wicked witch has the ambition to get them into quarrel, and what is the purpose or what is the main goal of the witch to get these princesses into a quarrel and fighting each other until they die, and then suddenly their father voice appear, and then they died and then bring back to life. Yeah. The point is that you have to make it clear. So I see the idea of the story, but everything that every component that you are trying to convey in the story, it has to be explained well. It has to be delivered, and then it has to have an explanation, so the audience can understand, well, this is my goal of the story. Do you got it?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is from me. And also try to align the story with the, this is the last from me. Try to align the story with the object and situation and the place that is given to you, because I'm kind of missing the school, the word school, and the candy, because you said cake, not the candy before. But the sorrowful, I think we got the idea. Okay, I think that's all from me. Moving on to Kak Ajrina.
Thank you.
Okay, can you hear my voice now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Thanks, Kak. Okay, Lulu. Yeah, I think a lot of things that I want to say. Calvin already said it, but I have something to add more. The first is about the performance itself. You have a very gorgeous dress there. You have a very gorgeous gown. The tiara is very nice, but it's a little bit sad that when you perform your story, I only can see half of your face because the camera is a little bit too close. So here is your, yeah, like Calvin right now, is how we can see your face.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is the hard thing about online storytelling. You have to make sure that you can, you have rehearsal. That's why the committee told you to make sure to check your voice and the video, just to make sure you are within the range of the camera. Because I didn't realize you wear a tiara until like 1 minute after the story.
I'm sorry, miss.
And
I was a take.
the second of all is still about the properties. When you have a properties like this, the can, and then everything else, make sure you have it within your reach. Karena tadi ketika kamu ngambil salah satu properti, kamu akhirnya harus balik badan, dan jadinya kita cuma lihat punggungmu dan kamu juga harus bungkuk. It's okay if you need to take something within your reach, di sampingmu ada meja terus kamu mau ngambil. It's okay, but make sure you don't put your face or half of your body even backing the camera. Jadi make sure dia semuanya bisa within your reach. Kamu tinggal julurin tangan, kamu udah bisa ngambil propertimu. Karena ketika kamu butuh sampai harus bungkuk buat ngambil, berarti properti terlalu jauh. Ceritamu tuh kepotong sama kamu mengambil properti. We want to make sure that our story is still moving along. When we need to take something, we need to put something, we need to start to continue. About the story, about the topic, I just realized, Calvin, I think you need to hear the school. I remember in the beginning, I hear something about the international school. So that apparently the story is within the story. Isn't that right? So there's a story about the drama that happened in school, and the story is about the princess.
Yes.
Yeah. That is a sneaky way to put the school. Because in storytelling, we want to try to avoid story within the story. Karena kita waktunya cuma sangat terbatas. Jadi kalau kita buat cerita di dalam sebuah cerita, we will all focus in the story that you tell. Dan kamu nggak kembali ke belakang, kamu nggak track back bahwa, guys, this is just a drama that happened in the school. You didn't track that back. Jadi yang sekarang kita rasakan adalah this is a story about the kingdom with Princess Aaron and Princess Padme. I forget about that until I try to remember, like, there is something about school happening in the start because you point the poster you have in the back.
Yes.
So yeah, when so if there you have something that you need to put in the story, maybe you can change the kingdom. It's not about they stay in the kingdom, it's about the two princes. They're still staying at the school and they were accompanying who will be the crown princess. while they're students or where they're staying in school. It will be more relatable to the topic. Next is about the plot. Calvin already said some things about the plot, but I have some things to add. In storytelling, there is a word we know. There is a phrase. It's called Deus ex machina, which means you give something too powerful for your character. Like Princess Arun died and then awake again because apparently she only can be killed by her sister, but then they fight and then they died, but they still magically alive. The magic that apparently can make them alive again, and then the plot armor that may, yeah, you cannot die because apparently you can only die with your sister. When we put magic can be a lot of things. Yeah, magic is magical because it's outside our realm of truth. But in the same time, the good magic is when you have logic in it. Because if you have such powerful magic, that means there's a price to pay. It doesn't come freely, even it's magic. So you can use magic as much as you want. If you want to revive them by magic, you can do that. But make sure there's a reason behind it. There is something in exchange for that powerful magic, because that's what makes magic good, what makes magic cool in the movie, in the book, is because there is a price when we cast magic. Your power, your life, your friend, there must be something. And last thing is about grammar. I noticed there is some point in your story, but you say like she was died. Princess Padme ate the candy and she was died. You can just she died, because when you already use verb to in past tense, you don't need to put the to be again. And then why I still life again? Why I come back to life? Why I'm alive? Still life again? Masih hidup lagi. In Indonesian, it doesn't make sense. And in English, it doesn't make sense as well. I know that you got a little bit nervous because you're doing live performance, but yeah, that is something that we need to practice and learn when we do storytelling. Also pronunciation as well, because if you pronounce some things wrongly, in English especially, we have a lot of homophones, it can be a different meaning. Like I hear you say peacefully instead of peacefully. I think because you talked a little bit too fast and nervous, so it just came out wrong. But yeah, be careful when you're saying something like that. Take your time, make sure your plot is compact, so you have a lot of time for yourself to perform, and make sure all of your pronunciation, you said it loudly and clearly. I think that's all. I talk too much again.
Thank you, Miss and Mr.
Okay, I think for the personal feedback and the Q&A session have already offered from the adjudicators and the participants number 9. Thank you, Kak Kelvin and also Kak Ajrina for the personal feedback and also amazing insights for the 9 participants. Okay, untuk Kak Lulu Rahmawati, you can go back to breakout room. Yeah, we will meet again after all participants' performance are over.
Okay, thank you, Miss and Mr. Mana? Nanti. Nih ya, masih nggak kelihatan loh. Katin dulu ya. Nggak kelihatan. Mana sih?
It's okay, Kak Ajrina. Wait a minute ya, Kak. We will assign the next participant. Alright. Halo, Kak Jasmine, Kultom. Hello, Jasmine? Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you have a time to recheck your camera and microphone and also the signal before we start your performance.
Okay, can I start?
Okay. Okay, you can see online stopwatch on the screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the committee will start the timer when you enter your first word, yeah, Kak Jasmine.
Well, I think I can start now. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take you on a journey through time. My name is Jasmine Pamaranta Kalaribotom, and I'm proudly present SMA Negeri 1 Karawang. What a day it is as I stand before you looking back at the past 3 years. I think it's flown by a blink of an eye. And today, everything feels fleeting, as if time slipped through our fingers. All of the moments that they share, the loud, the crying sessions, and other friendship things, they all remain attached in her heart. But they stood on the precipice of separation. One question suddenly lingers in a young girl like me. Will all these cherished memories vanish while they're parting? Well, join me as we embark on this emotional journey, visiting the halls, the classrooms, and day that have backdrop to this young girl's growth and learning. Together, we explore the bittersweet of sorry, I can hear myself.
Fokus kita. Jasmine, fokus kita ngadapnya.
Oh, sorry guys. The last day of junior high school is finally here. A day that Maya had been waiting for all years. There will be no more homework, no more tests, just a time to relax and get a rest. The halls were empty, the classrooms are bare, no more students, plus there will be no more teacher. And it was a bittersweet, of course, but this is the final day. As Maya walked into the classrooms, the happy part started slow and deliberate. She crushed a single birthday in her head. It was the directly petals representing the celebration of a new chapter. And today, it carried a soulful weight. She indicated in familiar calls. Her eyes were scanning the passion filled with the remnants of the happy day. As Mama looked at every one of the schools, the entrance gate that always welcomed her and the classmate. The cafeteria that witnessed our youngest, and the empty hours we urgently awaited. Maya reached her old-fashioned door, known as the room of 18. Her heart is arching as she remembered the countless hours she spent there by studying and laughing. Then she gently placed her white balloon on the empty desk. It was her unknown friend, and There were painful moments and conflicts, and the passion were always present, even our stories in schools. A smile remembers it all the memories float in her minds. School building, the place where we first met, was the backdrop to their journey. Their hopes, dreams, love, and tears are woven into the walls. And now, as they face this farewell, one can help but wonder if those memories will vanish one amidst and before the sun. The flower told a story of love and fragrance, filled the air with a bittersweet sense. It was a tribute, a farewell to a dear friend who had been bright present in their school lives. The sorrows that hangs in the earth were feelable as the students and teacher went about their days, each affected the essence of their lives. The school was filled with joyous laugh and joy now carried away a collective. But one thing for sure, even as we part ways, the bonds we formed will always remain in our hearts, like unbreakable bonds that connect us no matter where life takes us. As they pass by, the flower remains and spells slowly moderating the summer wind within the schools. No words were ever spoken, but the shimmer of sorrow bonds them together in the silent treaty of the lost relations. A testament of the enduring bonds formed within the school's walls. Ladies and gentlemen, this day represents both an ending and a beginning. It was the end of the known and the beginning of the unknown. Maya and her classmate, however, faced the future with heart full of memories, knowing that the immortal thread of their relationship will always attach them no matter where life takes them. As the sun set in the long shadows in the deserted corridors, Maya and her classmate accepted school one by one, each bringing the instance of their school on the other end. The bittersweet of nostalgia was satisfied it was joined by optimism and excitement of the adventure that already awaited them. In the end, I know it wasn't a simple farewell, but it was truly a celebration of the magnificent pattern of their time together, a work of artwork eternally graced on the canvas of their life. The moral of the story is that enjoying elements of friendships and the importance of cherishing and preserving the memory created with our friends. It emphasizes the feeling of nature and time that were very quickly passing by. This serves encourage us to reflect more on the bonds with others, whenever we get to schools or work, or maybe just life in general, and to appreciate the significance of those connections. This story is tribute to my junior high school XXII in Matthew London. And thank you guys, and see you guys in the next amazing adventure. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you, Kak Jasmine Gultom, for your great performance. And the duration of your performance is 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay, now is the time for the personal feedback, also the Q&A session. I will give it to Kak Kelvin and also Kak Ajena.
I'm still writing. 5 more seconds. Okay. Jasmine. Is your nickname Jasmine? Jasmine. Jasmine, actually this story is quite touching. You have everything you need to put there. There's school and then the flowers and then the sorrowful, everything was there. But what we want to make sure when we do I personally like it's different between each storytelling. Like I don't really mind if the story don't have dialogues at all, as long as you can build up the emotions and the characters. Yeah, it's common in storytelling. Sometimes we put dialogue, so there is because storytelling is a combination between the theater performance and a story narrative. But if you don't want to put any dialogue at all, it's still fine. But I'm expecting it's not just telling what happens, but you can also show what the emotion the characters have. Because from what I saw here, the scene was for that they were trying to recollect about what happened in the school. This is their last day. They feel a lot of emotions. They have a lot of happy and sad moment there. There is this the place with a lot of memories to share. But I was expecting maybe you can give her some recollection. So why the school is very memorable? What happened? Maybe there's one time when in the classroom that she play with her friends, and there's this happens. They met new friends, or maybe there is a fight, or maybe there is in the gym. There's a specific place, like maybe in the garden of the school when she finally met someone she loved or something else. Try to put more memories to make it relatable to us, because we don't know the school, we don't know what happened there. So you have to put something that we might be related to. Just not about what she do in the last day, but what she feel. Second of all, in storytelling, we have something we call plot. So when we have plot, which means that we have prepositions, we have the opening, and then we have rising action. There must be some kind of problem happening in your story. So your character will have some things to gain or loss during the story. In this case, maybe she lost the place she called home, the school she loves so much. But you have to put some problem why it's hard for her to live, why it's hard for her to let go of the school and move on, because this is the last day. The problem wasn't there because it's rather than the beginning of the story, your story feels like it's already the end of the story, but we didn't know what happened before it. So it feels like the closing, the resolutions, but we couldn't see the rising action, we don't see the climax, and before it finally ends. So it will be nice if you can give us more story, more background about what happened with your character first, and then in the end you can put this story where she has to say goodbye to the school. This is the final day, and she finally can recollect every kind of emotion, every kind of memory she had, and she's ready to move on to the next school or maybe somewhere else. I think that's all for me. Calvin, if you want to add more.
Hello.
Hello.
So I don't have much to comment on since it's already delivered. Thank you, Kajil. I just going to just expand a bit with the notes mentioning the point where Kajina said the story is supposed to have a plot and the storyline that is clear. Actually, your story is good, but do I categorize this story as the opening or the beginning? It could be because the storyline is not really there. So your story is all about the personification, about someone who reminiscence the school before she left and starting something new, right? I do agree with Kajina has what Kajina has said about try to make some kind of conflict, and the conflict is not something that just a problem or maybe like there is a drama. No, it's not. Conflict in a story can be something that really notable or something that build up the story from the beginning until the end. So when you're trying to say let's say I'm going to school. Let's say that. Let's say I'm telling you the story of my life from from the morning until the evening. I'm going to tell you about what will happen in order, what I'm going through from the very early morning until the end of the day. And that's the goal. And the goal of your story is supposed to be like that. You need to set certain goals until you can end the story. And within the beginning until the end or until the goal of the story, there needs some kind of explanation and the series of events. Yeah, so it needs to be there needs to be a series of events that leads you until your goal. So this series of events will explain why am I reaching this goal now. So what is the purpose of me telling you this story is to explain why the school life is very interesting. So explain that why this school life is very memorable. You can add something to explain or to elaborate more on this point. So your story doesn't seem stuck in one place. You get what I mean, right? Yeah, yeah. Cool. Uh, your wording actually is very good already. Your wording and the way you try to explain the school life and the way you try to start your new chapter of life, it's actually very well and it delivered nicely. But the missing part is the series of events. Why the school life is very interesting and why you should reminisce those events of your school life. I think that's all. Thank you, Jess. All right, back at the committee.
Okay, I think enough for the personal feedback and the Q&A session from the educators and the participants number 10. Thank you so much for Kak Kelvin and also Kak Ajrina for the amazing insights and personal feedback for the 10 participants. Okay, all right. After this, we will have a closing to close this event. So we will admit all the participants back for the information for the announcement winner tomorrow, ya Kak. Okay, maybe kakak-kakak have something to say, a short message to all participants, or maybe you may deliver to them ya kakak-kakak. Thank you so much, Kak. Wait a minute ya, Kak.
Do you want to say our iconic phrase?
Just
The
have
legendary
fun.
phrase.
I always love saying that catchphrase.
Gak komplit kalau nggak pakai legendary phrase itu.
Exactly, that is why. Is Kak Gigi here with us? Can Kak Gigi say something? Ya, pesan oh.
The message from Gigi Merbawani.
Hello.
Hi, Gigi. Did you arrive there yet, or are you still on the road?
Take care.
The big fan.
Sorry, I have to ask real quick. Anggita, do the educator after this have to stay for a while for the tabulating the score, like discussing the score?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
Okay,
discuss
cool.
before.
Aku sudah masuk mode tidak serius.
Are you?
There is only Lulu and Jasmine. Oh, and Hindia. Where's the other? Calvin.
Is that like our famous or cursed one?
Yeah, we have to carry it to the next generation, Calvin.
Alright. I don't think next generation even understand how important that catchphrase is.
Really?
Yeah,
They don't do it anymore?
they don't. That's why.
Oh no, that's too bad.
I think rather than the famous catchphrase, it also can be said as our inner jokes. So
But we always said it all the time.
yeah, that is why. That's our little jokes, inside jokes that no one could really understand.
It is left to us. Who can carry the phrase? Is your time come? You're the generation.
I really want to fit in the new generation,
Coco Calvin.
but I really want to fit in the new generation, but I also realize that I am too old to fit in the new generation. Somebody else take the honor, please. Thank you.
No, don't worry. The next generation will say that Kak Calvin is the one that gave me this phrase.
And guess who?
Dan Anggi bertanya-tanya ini sebenarnya kenapa?
Oh.
Okay, hello, welcome back to all finalists, Top 10 Storytelling 2023. I want to say everyone have prepared their best for today, so we will generously thank you. Thank you all for your active participation, and also I would like to thank all of the judges and participants for your preparation and participation throughout this event. We hope you can learn a lot from it. As well, on behalf of the entire organizing committee, we would like to apologize if there were any mistakes by action or any unpleasant words in organization is event. Once again, thank you so much. And also don't forget to attend closing ceremony tomorrow on Sunday, October 1st, 2023. Or maybe all the judges can say a short message to all the participants. Or maybe motivation.
Kak Jirina can start first.
Gigi already sent something, Anggi.
Oh.
Maybe we can start with Gigi.
Oh, we can start with her.
Okay, untuk Kak Gigi, deeply apologize for being absent during final and not giving direct feedback due to several reasons. More so, I've watched all of our great performances, and my feedback will be sent to you by committee leader. You guys are a very good job, and I enjoy each and every performances. Thank you so much for your hard work. Hopefully it will bring you a great result in the announcement tomorrow. Thank you. Best regards, Kak Gigi.
So touchy, I almost cried. Okay, Kak Jirina, you go ahead.
Okay, for me, it's actually a little bit the same. Like, everyone did a very good job. I really like all of your performance. All of you have your own characteristic, which is nice. So please keep that up. If you want to be a storyteller, you have to be yourself. You have to find your own style. So I hope this experience here, whether who's winning or not, it can be a bonus for you. But the most important thing is that I hope you learn something. You learn from I think because it's live on YouTube as well, so you can learn from the other performance. You can learn from Kak Kelvin, Kak Gigi, and maybe me. I don't know. You can take it with a great. Take what you need to take and just move on and do better in your next storytelling. And I really hope that I can see you again in the other competitions, because all of you did a very good job and I want to see you perform once more. Kelvin.
Apa ya? Okay, so probably in the beginning of this competition, I really doubt, actually. I really doubt that some of, maybe a lot of these people are, did they really have what it takes to get into the final? Because I have to be honest with you guys, because a lot of the performance in the preliminary really did not as great as what I saw in the final. So I don't know, probably next in the future, a lot of competitions should just have the impromptu part and take out the preparation time. We'll see. But it really amazed me how you guys made it into the final and did the best, way more better than what you guys did in the preliminary round. And I really appreciate that you guys take our feedback seriously and then apply it on your final. I really hope that in your next competition, you can be better from here and apply what we already said to you and just elevate more and be a better storyteller in the future. And I think lastly for me, because you're a storyteller, don't forget to have fun. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for Kak Gigi, Kak Ajin, and also Kak Kelvin for the short message and motivation to all of us, especially for the storytellers that are finally top 10 finalists today. All right, after this, we will calculate the score for all of the participants. Can leave this meeting now, yeah? And you can join again for our closing ceremony tomorrow. Once again, thank you so much, everyone. See you tomorrow. Okay, participants, you may leave the Zoom now, yeah. And for kakak-kakak educators, please wait a minute, yeah, because we will have a discussion.
Anggita kayaknya senang banget ya, udah selesai gitu.
Of course, Kelvin.
Live streamnya bisa dimatiin dulu nggak ya?
Kelvin dikacangin.
Wait a minute ya, Kak.
Ya, live streamnya masih nyala, by the way.
Iya, Kak, wait a minute, Kak. Ada trouble signal.
Oh iya, live-nya masih nyala. Sorry, audience. This is the true face of storytellers.